In those days, it was a custom among the Arabs that they would hand the baby over to a nursemaid from the nearby rural areas when a child was born. This allowed the child to grow up in a healthy environment and learn pure Arabic. When a group of nursemaids entered Makkah, they began looking for families with newborns. Many nursemaids came to the house of Hazrat Abdul Muttalib, where they saw the Prophet ﷺ. However, upon learning that he was born an orphan, they moved on, thinking an orphan's family might not offer much reward. Many nursemaids came and left without choosing him, for this honor was destined to go to Hazrat Halima. When Hazrat Halima, Razi-Allah anha, arrived in Makkah, she found that all the other women had taken children, and she was the only one without a child. Only one child was left, this orphan whom the others had passed over. Halima told her husband, "I cannot bear to return empty-handed while all the other women have children. They would taunt me for it, so why don't we take this orphan child?" Her husband replied, "There is no harm. Perhaps Allah will bless us through this child." So Hazrat Halima, Razi-Allah anha, went to Hazrat Abdul Muttalib's home, where she was warmly welcomed by him and Hazrat Amna. They brought her to the child, who was wrapped in a white woolen cloth and lying on a green silk cover. As Halima looked at him, she noticed a fragrance of musk emanating from his gentle breaths. When Hazrat Halima gently placed her hand on his chest, he smiled and opened his eyes, looking up at her. Halima was amazed by his beauty, and, upon seeing a ray of light emerge from his eyes reaching up to the heavens, she was overcome with love. She picked him up, kissed the space between his blessed eyes, and, after taking permission, returned to her caravan with him. When she tried nursing him, he immediately took milk from her right side, refusing milk from the left side. This became his habit. He would always nurse from the right, leaving the left side for Halima's child. As the caravan set out again, Halima's feeble mule, which used to trail behind, now surged ahead, astonishing everyone. Her companions asked in amazement, "Is this the same mule that could hardly walk?" Halima replied, "Yes, by Allah, it is indeed strange." When they reached the village of Banu Saad, which was suffering from drought, Halima's goats returned with their udders full of milk that evening, even though they had been dry before. Her neighbors' goats remained unchanged, but Halima's goats gave enough milk to fill their vessels. 2 months passed quickly, and by this time, the Prophet ﷺ was already walking. By 8 months, he could talk clearly. By 9 months, he was speaking fluently. During this time, everyone noticed the blessings brought by his presence, and the fragrance of musk filled their homes. When the Prophet ﷺ turned 2, Hazrat Halima took him back to his mother, Hazrat Amna, as was customary. But, having witnessed his blessings, they requested to keep him a little longer. Halima expressed concern that Makkah's climate might harm him. Hazrat Amna agreed, and so Halima brought him back to her home. The Prophet ﷺ began accompanying his foster siblings to graze the goats. One day, the other children ran back, calling out in fear, "Mother, come quickly. Our brother Muhammad has been harmed." Terrified, Halima and her husband hurried over and found the Prophet ﷺ standing there, pale and shaken. Halima asked, "What happened?" The Prophet ﷺ described how 2 men in white clothes, the angels Jibril and Mikael, had come to him. One had asked, "Is this him?" To which the other replied, "Yes, this is him." They then laid him down, opened his chest, removed something black, symbolizing Satan's influence, and discarded it. Upon hearing this, Halima's husband became concerned and suggested that they return him to his family. They took him back to Makkah, and as they neared the city, the young Prophet ﷺ briefly disappeared, leaving Halima alarmed and anxious. Who was the wet nurse of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ?
The wet nurse of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was Hazrat Halima Saadia, Razi-Allah anha.
Why did Hazrat Halima decide to take the orphan child?
Hazrat Halima felt it would be shameful to return without a child, so she decided to take the orphan child, hoping that Allah would bless her through him.
What was the condition of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ when Hazrat Halima brought him home?
When Hazrat Halima saw Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he was lying under a woolen blanket, and the scent of musk was spreading with the sound of his breathing.
What was the habit of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ regarding breastfeeding?
Prophet Muhammad ﷺ always preferred to drink milk from the right side, while Hazrat Halima's own child continued to drink from the left side.
What incident occurred with the Prophet ﷺ when he became distressed?
One day while he was playing, two angels came and opened his chest, removing something from his stomach and throwing it away. This object was related to Satan and influenced the human soul.